Bags under the eyes? Check. Second cup of coffee? Check. Been up since 2:41 a.m.? Check. My wife is out of town right now. She is on a business trip. She'll be home tonight around 11 p.m. I also made the promise to my daughter that she was allowed to stay up till mom came home, and we were going to build a tent. I made that promise before my wife left. What a bad idea that was. I got this question in one of the videos. You'll have to excuse me. My brain's all over the place, and I'm not making this video because I feel like I have to, because I don't. I don't have to. I can just chill. I'm making this video because I genuinely like doing this. And this one's gonna be real raw because I don't have any guard up or anything right now. I don't have any energy. I am so beat. Huge shout out to all of the parents out there. This video honestly is dedicated to all of the single parents out there, because some people are like, I don't know how you do it. I know how you do it. You just do it. You don't have an option. You have to do it. My wife is out of town, and so it's just me and my 7-month-old as well as my 3-year-old, and we're just getting it done. And so there was a question that was asked, which was, it was more of a statement at first. It was, I'm getting married, and my fiance doesn't play video games, but I do play video games. I'm just curious, how does one balance the hobby? Is it something I should give up? Am I going to be able to continue? Should I just stop now before I get married? I don't know if they said all that, but that's what I heard. And I'm going to be honest with you. I got a few thoughts. This weekend has definitely applied a lot of my not applied, but is going to be applied to a lot of my thinking. We're still rocking that Ethiopian right now because it's so delicious, and we're just going to get after it right now. So, first things first is, it's okay if your partner doesn't play video games. My wife doesn't play video games. She has a Switch, my old Switch, and she does have a few games that she would play on it if she played it. She has Lego Harry Potter, which she enjoys, and she has... Actually, that's it. Just Lego Harry Potter. And she's played it a little bit, but it's not really her priority. I highly don't even... I don't recommend getting your... I don't know if whoever talked to me was a man or woman, so I don't know. I don't know if getting your fiance into video games is also the answer, because they're like, yeah, so I'm, trying to get my fiance into video games. You don't have to. It can be yours. You don't have to share it. Like, I have friends who mountain bike, and their spouses don't mountain bike. Okay, I do CrossFit. My wife doesn't do CrossFit. That's my hobby, right? Like, okay, no big deal. She doesn't have to do CrossFit. She doesn't have to share that activity with me. So your wife or husband, or whatever you're about to get, doesn't have to share it with you. Let's talk about time, though, because holy freaking balls, dude. Like, oh, gosh, I'm dying. Losing my mind. You don't have time. You don't have any time at all, ever, at any moment. This weekend has been such a beautiful experience in some ways, and such a awful one in others. One is, I don't know why anyone would want to raise children alone. I know that some of it is not on purpose, but oh gosh, it's not at all ideal. But you don't have time. My whole past few days has just been to keep my kids going, right? And just to feed my children, keep them occupied, let them know that I love them, make them feel like I'm there for them, make them feel safe, protected, and most of all supported, and not ignoring them, right? And so when it comes to video games, it just doesn't have a place in my day, if I'm being honest with you. You really don't have a lot of extra free time once you get married, and then once you have children, you have like negative time somehow. And also you're able to do it all. I don't know how that's even possible, but I'm experiencing that right now. When you have a day like I had yesterday, it's just from start to finish, you're on. and you have like one of 4 things you get to do in the day. Not one of 4, but there's a few very, very important things that need to take place throughout your day. Okay, let me break that down to you for you. If you're gonna be a human that's functioning, one is you have to, as a parent, take care of your children, and so their needs come first, right? Their needs, not their wants. Their wants sometimes are ridiculous. My child wants things sometimes that I'm like, no, you're not gonna be able to drink your chocolate milk through a straw in a cup that has no lid. That's just ridiculous. You're 3. I'm not gonna let you do that. That's out of this world insane, you know? And so stuff like that. But on the flip side, their needs, fed, bathed, fed well, right? I could easily just phone it in and be like, and I've done it, you know? I feel bad about it. It's not terrible, but I can phone it in and be like, Mom's gone. We're having pizza, McDonald's, and Taco Bell. That's it. McDonald's for breakfast, Taco Bell for lunch, pizza for dinner, and just phone it in. But I'm not providing a good, healthy lifestyle for my children. So I cooked every meal this week. I pre-cooked some stuff, you know. I have a Traeger, so that makes life a little bit easier. Take care of yourself. There's something that I will not compromise on regardless, and that's working out. I work out every day. I do 30 to 45 minutes of something every day, whether it's just walking with a backpack that has some weight in it or lifting weights. I work out every day, and that's so that I can be a father and a husband and functioning and running on super low amounts of sleep and still able to pick both of my children up, hold them over my head, and be able to get through the day holding stuff, tossing stuff, and being cognitive and alert, regardless of how cognitive alert I seem like I am right now, which is very, very low. So those 2 things have to happen for me, at least. And they should happen for you, right? As a parent, you should take care of your kids and you should exercise. The next thing is get work done if you have work. I'm fortunate enough that I was able to change my work schedule around. I'm doing work right now, and so that came at a cost. My daughter really likes Kiki's delivery service, so she's watching that. But she's watching Kiki's delivery service. I'm making this video. I'm going to edit this video while she watches the rest of it, on the couch with her. But get work done, right? And then lastly, because I actually believe that that's the order of operations, truly. Take care of your family, take care of yourself, right, with health, and then work, right? What does that require? Well, sometimes your schedule for work is super, super crazy. You either wake up early or dedicate yourself to working out on your lunch or working out afterwards. But working out every day is a non-negotiable, like absolutely non-negotiable, some sort of physical activity. And what does that leave you at the end of the day? Well, as I've seen these past few days, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was fortunate enough to be able to wake up super early. Fortunate, it's not really a word I like to use, but I had to wake up really early because my 7-month-old schedule goes to bed at 7, wakes up at 10:30, wakes up at 3 to 4, and then wakes up again at 6. So last night he woke up at 2:41, and I was like, I'm gonna try to go back to bed. Didn't happen. I played Splunky on my Nintendo Switch for 20 minutes in bed to hope that it knocked me out because that's my go-to get tired game. Nothing. And so then I said, I'm going to come downstairs. I'm going to start my morning with 16 ounces of water, salt, and lemon juice, and then some coffee. And then I proceeded to play about 2 hours straight of Final Fantasy VII Remake. It was great. I'm exhausted. It was great. And those are the moments that you get to play video games. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't you work out? Because I already planned that into my day today. My kids want to go to the park, and so I'm going to put them in our wagon. The park's a mile away, and we're going to walk to the park. I'm going to put a backpack on. It's going to be brutal, but that's going to be my workout for the day. A 1-mile hike with 45 to 50 pounds of children in a big giant wagon that I'm going to push. It's awesome. And so that's the first thing. And also, when it comes to work, this hustle culture that's a thing that exists online, if I may, just for a brief moment, go on a tangent here, because I know that a lot of people have, there's one person I'm thinking about in particular, but the people have this thing about hustle culture, and they're like, video games are the enemy. You could be working and leveling up your life. You know what, dude? I don't know what else to say, but just a big middle finger to that. It's, in some instances, it makes sense. But I'm not about hustle culture at all. You know what I'm about? If I can be Me with you? Dude, I got freaking spit up on my shirt. I'm about legacy culture, huh? Dude, I have 2 kin. I have a daughter and a son. Doesn't matter how many millions of dollars I make. It doesn't matter how many businesses I own. At the end of the day, I have a legacy in my children. They are my number one. Sure, work to provide for your kids. Providing for your kids doesn't require wealth. It requires sensitivity, care, love, and engagement with your children. And hustling to create this life that no one else has, whatever it may be, is I don't usually do this, but I'm going to, is bullshit, huh? I said it. One word. Bullshit. And you want to know why? Because the sacrifices that are made in order to maintain hustle culture, getting rid of your video games or hobbies, getting rid of your spare time with friends that aren't driven, getting rid of your extra time with your family, that whole life yields you nothing in the end. Millions of dollars, all of this stress, and then also now you got all these different things, and you're like, yeah, sure, I can provide this lifestyle for my family. I did not grow up rich. Not at all. I did not grow up wealthy. In fact, my parents struggled my whole life until probably I was towards the end of high school. They were no longer struggling. By no means were they in abundance, right? And I'm speaking from the Western perspective, right? Yes, I live in California too, okay? So I get it. Just continue with me. My parents we didn't have nice cars, all of them hand-me-downs. My first car that was a van and the sliding door didn't even work, right? None of that stuff. I lived a very, very provided for life. My family did everything. My parents did everything they could to provide me with a few things. Love, care, tenderness, and support, and all of the things I wanted to do. I was a musician through high school, even though I was a big dude and could have easily done football. No, I was a musician. I played video games every waking minute. My father said, you know what? Go ahead, play video games. They didn't see video games as a problem because my socializing happened because of that hobby, right? I had my troubles growing up. I was an emo kid. I had my time of trying to shock and awe everybody with my edgy behavior. Foul language here, rebellion there. I smoked cigarettes for a short amount of time. I didn't drink alcohol because I was too scared of looking like an idiot because I was already fat and looked like an idiot, so I did not want to drink and look like an idiot. So the worst thing I did was I smoked cigarettes, which some would say you look like an idiot, but I'm going to be going on record that it was something that to date, if it wasn't unhealthy and so terrible for you, I would still do it. I loved it. It was great. It was just such a fun thing to do. I don't do it anymore. I won't touch it because it means that every iota of that little tiny stick of death is going to take time away from my children. So just not going to happen. But I grew up in that environment, and I think that I had one of the best lives growing up. And I want to replicate all the good and remove some of the strife and bad that I experienced growing up and give that same thing to my kids. In these past 2 weeks, I've done that. Have I been able to play video games? A little bit. At the end of the day, my children were all in bed at 8 p.m. because daddy locks it down. I put them down 7 and 8. No one's staying up late on those days, right? Except for the one tonight. And I got to play some Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advance emulator for a little bit the first night. Last night, went to bed at 8. I just went to bed at 8. I'm like, forget it, dude. Yesterday was brutal. Didn't turn on any of my gaming systems. The whole day. None. Did I even think about gaming? Not a bit. Because I understand where gaming lives. I know where it exists in my life. I'm building a legacy. My children will always come first. My wife will always come first. When she's home and she's taking care of the kids and they're receiving that love and tenderness from a mother, and the father can take a step back and relax a little bit, guess who's doing that? Me. And I'll play some video games. I'll put that into my day. But it comes almost last in the laundry list of things that have to happen. There's so many things that you as a person have to take care of, right? You have to take care of your spiritual state. You have to take care of your physical state. Some would say you have to take care of your mental state. I think that that's getting a little blown out of proportion. People who are like, oh man, I'm just taking a mental rest day. Take all the mental rest days you want, boys and girls. And I say boys and girls for a reason. Because when you get married or have children, you don't get those anymore. Those pretend days, you get to leave with your child self when you were a child. Mental health and mental rest days. Oh, I'm working on my mental health. You must be single. Because when you're a father or a mother taking care of children, you don't get mental health days, dude. You could be puking your guts out, sick with the flu. And if child comes in your room and says, Dada, I need help with this. Guess what you're doing? Putting on your pants, going outside and helping her. Even if you are green and puking in the bushes. That's how life is. That's how this works. And so when it comes to video games, it's very, very clear where it stacks up in my life. And my question for you is, where does it stack up in yours? Because there is an order of operations when it comes to this hobby. It looks like I have quite an abundance, which in some ways I do because this is my job. And my love for video games is the most out of any hobby I've ever had. I take care of myself physically because it's very important to be able to maintain a healthy lifestyle so I can be alive for the longest amount of time possible. But that has become such an ingrained discipline that I wouldn't consider it a hobby anymore. Especially since I've taken a step back to live in a world of health orientation rather than performance orientation. Before I was lifting super heavy weights all the time, throwing stuff around, trying to get big and bulky, and now I'm just trying to be dada every day, every single moment of my day. And so I don't have the luxury to go and back squat, however much. I'm not going to throw numbers around because I'm not that guy. All the time when I could. Then when I'll come home and I'm just blown out mentally and physically from the central nervous system drainage that I took because I'm back squatting 90% for multiple reps, right? No. Can't afford to do that anymore. Not if my daughter is going to need me or my son is going to need me or my wife is going to need me. She's like, dude, I need you to go to the store and get all this stuff. I'm going to need to do that. And so video games have become not an escape because I'm not trying to escape anything. I don't want to escape. I have the coolest life. I have a wife and children. It's the coolest ever. Ain't no one's trying to escape that. What I'm trying to do is allow myself to rest and rest in those moments and enjoy something, right? That's my enjoyment. Because, can I just tell you the practical thing? Yesterday, I worked out a little bit. I worked on some pull-ups. I worked on some stuff to just get my body moving. I wouldn't say it was an intense workout by any stretch. Maybe a couple hundred calories at most. Just being a dad, I didn't do anything crazy. I just was, getting my kid, grabbing my little one, picking him up, putting him over here, making sure that he didn't chew on cat food, all that kind of stuff. Just normal, everyday stuff. 3,700 calories. You hear me correctly? 3,700 calories. In just one day of being a dad. You best believe Papa had like 9 tacos for dinner. Delicious, yummy, homemade tacos. But that's what it takes, right? And so gaming at the end of the day, when I get to, because sometimes I just don't want to, is something that I enjoy because it's this moment that I get to just breathe. And hustle culture preaches against it. And I preach against hustle culture. There is something to be said about being responsible in working hard at something that's important. Totally understand. My working hard, just so you guys know on this channel, is my legacy, my children. I need to pour into them. I need to make sure that they're loved. Taken care of physically, taken care of spiritually, taken care of mentally, creating an environment in which they flourish in, right? That's the culture I'm trying to be a part of. Legacy culture. Because at the end of the day, all this stuff doesn't matter, right? Who cares if you can level up Cloud? Who cares if you have 400 hours in Fortnite? Who cares if you have 9 characters on WoW? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Those achievements don't matter. But the working towards prestige, your weapon class in Call of Duty, all that is still totally okay. and fun. And those achievements are good to experience because it gives you a sense of, I'm working on something that is just fun for me. It doesn't have to yield anything. My not grandfather at all. My father-in-law makes ukuleles out of cigar boxes. It's pretty cool. He's retired. He just does it for no reason. He's sold a couple. He has so many. But why does he do it? Because he wants to. Is it meaningless? In the grand scheme of things? Yeah. They're just cigar box ukuleles that he doesn't sell and just lets my kids play with. Right? But culturally and socially, we're like, oh, look, he's just creating something. Yeah, what he's doing is he's taking a moment and he's going, I'm going to do something I enjoy. And if hopping on to any of these, if listening to music, if is what you enjoy, dude, this morning I woke up at the unfortunate crack of dawn. I played Final Fantasy for a couple hours, and then as my children were rising, and they were still not mad, I turned on, because we were both awake, my record player, and I blasted as loud as I could so that my kids, well, my one kid can't come out of the room, but my daughter, I saw her on the monitor, was moving around, and she's like, what's going on? Zelda. Filled my house with it at 6:30 in the morning. Right? My neighbors have already left. It was beautiful. I got to experience that. And do I get to do that every day? No. I can't tell you the last time I got to spend 2 hours playing video games straight. No clue. But it was a moment that I really, really enjoyed. Could I have spent those 2 hours grinding on YouTube? Sure. We get to do this once. Okay? And it's far more important for you to pour into your legacy, however that looks, and not worry about your hustle. If you need a hustle to create a legacy, sure, whatever. But I'm anti-hustle. Pro-legacy. Build a legacy, dudes. Build a legacy. I can't see straight. The bags under my eyes are ridiculous. It looks like I've been punched in the face twice, of which I haven't. Well, kind of. My kid did get a good pop on me because I picked him up and he just really wanted to eat my cat's food, and I just wouldn't let him. So he swung on me and it connected. It did. It connected. He's got a good left hook. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was good. He got me. So I immediately grabbed him and looked at him and said, well done, kid. He didn't get the cat food in the end. He's useless. He's just a bag of skin, dude. He's 7 months old. He can't do crap. He can stand, though, which is kind of cool. And he sure can move, but whatever. All right, guys, that's it for me today. This is all over the place, and this is the realest it gets, huh? I got nothing more for you. I'm probably not going to make a video for the weekend. I don't know. Actually, I'm not going to say anything. Videos when they happen, ladies and gentlemen. Drink your coffee, play video games, create a legacy that matters, honestly. Go hug your kids, kiss your spouse, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to do the same. All right. Oh, also, as a parent, you don't get to nap. So get your naps in now. Get your mental health days, your naps in now when you're still a child. All right. Enough of that, JD. Happy game.